and welcome to the 2020 Candidate Forum, the only region-wide, business-focused candidate forum in the Tri-Cities, brought to you by the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce. Now, in this forum, you'll be hearing from Washington State 9th District Senator Mark Schoesler, who's running unopposed after his challenger dropped out of the race 2 weeks ago. According to the Tri-City Herald, Jen Goulet, a co-founder and former president of Tri-City Free Thinkers and a Planned Parenthood board member, confirmed that she's moving to Savannah, Georgia. Her name will remain on the ballot, however. I am Tracy Dial, news anchor with NBC Right Now, and I'm so pleased to be here with you. Early voting starts as soon as ballots start showing up in mailboxes in mid-October. Of course, Election Day is coming up on Tuesday, November 3rd. So thank you so much for joining us to hear from Senator Schoesler on his thoughts on issues that matter to all of us in the Tri-Cities community. And now we have a message from President and CEO of the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce, Lori Matson.
As the foremost advocate and voice for business, the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce leads by advancing policies and positions that strengthen, preserve, and promote a thriving business climate, economy, and quality of life. The 2020 candidate forums are designed to highlight how candidate positions integrate with local business priorities. I'd like to take a brief moment to thank the Chamber's Board of Directors and Local Government Affairs Committee for their leadership in supporting our advocacy efforts. I'm especially pleased and grateful for the support of the candidate forum sponsors, Cascade Natural Gas, GISA Credit Union, JLH Group, and Hayden Homes. And last but not least, a very special thanks to our local news partners for collaborating on this project. Your time, talent, and expertise are valued and truly appreciated.
Thank you, Lori, and it is such an honor to be a part of this. I'm so thankful that the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce is putting this on, and I'm happy to become a more well-informed voter with all of you today. Now let's get to the format. So the opening statement and closing statement will be limited to 1 minute. Response time for each question is 2 minutes, and there will be time limit reminders that pop up on screen with 10 minutes or 10 seconds rather remaining, and if necessary, when the time is up. So we are now ready to get started. Let's begin by introducing Senator Mark Schoesler from the 9th Legislative District. So welcome, Senator. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Are you ready for this?
Of course.
All right, time now for your 1 minute opening statement.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with all of you tonight. Talking about this a little bit, I think I'm uniquely qualified in that I'm the longest serving legislator in Eastern Washington, and I've served in majorities, minorities, and ties. I've been in leadership. I've been a backbencher. I've helped negotiate budgets when the state was in dire straits like we were just a decade ago. I've negotiated segments of the budget. I've negotiated with 2 governors' offices in budgets through great times, okay times, and very challenging times. I've represented the Franklin County portion of the region since 2002, and I've learned Franklin County in particular's issues very, very well, and I'm very familiar with them and look forward to serving this region again after the 2020 election.
Thank you, Senator Schoesler. Let's get right now to your questions. Question number 1. This has been a year like no other. Our state has been struggling with the coronavirus, economic turndown, severe unemployment, civil unrest, and more recently, the catastrophic wildfires. How should the legislature address the gaping hole in the state budget?
Well, first of all, we should have had a special session in June. We should have had a special session in August, because the longer we wait, the deeper the hole gets. And in many cases, we're not talking about cuts. We're talking about slowing the rate of increases in spending. We're talking about finding the low-hanging fruit early, and once you've spent that money, you can't unspend it. So my greatest frustration has been the lack of inaction by the legislature. In fact, within the Senate budget, we easily carved out over 10% without even breaking a sweat. But the longer we wait, the more challenging it gets, and the more apt it is to hurt the most vulnerable in our region.
Thank you. Question number 2, if you had the opportunity to change the B&O tax without lowering or eliminating it, what changes would you make and why?
I think we would look for uniformity. For example, the manufacturing rate should have gone back to the aerospace rate. Had we done that without a veto by Governor Inslee in 2017, Boeing would have been WTO compliant, which would be great for that industry, but it would also have lowered manufacturing rates in the Tri-Cities, Clarkston, Colville, Pullman, and other places. So I think having fewer, lower, and simpler classes of B&O would work well. If we don't do anything, businesses that are struggling are going to be hit with B&O, even though they're not making money. So quit digging the hole deeper. Look for fewer, simpler, and of course, lower rates.
Thank you, Senator. Question number 3. There are discussions about imposing new statewide taxes, such as a roads usage charge, a capital gains income tax, a Seattle-based payroll tax, a tax to pay for childcare, wildfire prevention and response tax, and a carbon tax. Do you support any of these taxes? Why or why not?
Absolutely not. Let's start with road usage. The gas tax will not go away because it's been bonded. And to tax motorists who travel a lot more in areas like ours with road usage, they will pay a disproportionate burden. Secondly, a road usage charge is not protected by the 19th Amendment to our state's constitution and could be diverted anywhere. Capital gains is simply an income tax, plain and simple, and it's more volatile than sales tax or property, and could not easily be implemented to dig us out of this. If we look at a head tax, once again, we get to a very regressive anti-employer tax. Businesses that have struggled through COVID, large or small, would pay even more. Taxes are not the way to get out of a recession. Less regulation, lower taxes, or at least holding the line, is certainly a better alternative for businesses in our region.
Thank you, Senator. Question number 4, do you see the benefits of career-focused education and skills training programs? And if so, how do you believe the legislature can best support them?
Well, we have some great programs. For example, at Walla Walla Community College, we have the premier winemaking, wine growing classes in the world. Why would we not continue to support them? If we come to CBC, we have courses on internet security that are the envy of many. We also have many vocational programs that are immediate employers within our region. And let's look at our skill centers. They provide a workforce almost immediately, and not every student is interested in STEM. STEM is great, but it's not for every single student. We also have things like the John Deere program at Walla Walla, which was a great public-private partnership. Any John Deere dealer can tell you they need more skilled technicians, not fewer. So we simply have to prioritize them because their jobs, not 6 years from now, not 8 years from now, in many cases, these are skilled workers in 18 months. It's one of the last places you want to cut. We have an evergreen state college that is certainly not producing the caliber of workforce that CBC or Walla Walla is, or our skill centers. We can find efficiencies in other parts of our higher education system.
Thank you, Senator. Final thing today, it is time for your 1-minute closing statement.
Well, I've made many, many friends in this region. And We've worked on projects that were very beneficial, whether it's a Lewis Street Bridge, whether it's 395 safety improvements, or we're going to see passing lanes on Highway 26 that support the Coug Nation and those students. Water projects that are critical. I believe that 28 years of experience, majority leader, minority leader, and many other positions, I'm best qualified to aid this region, the 9th Legislative District, and the state of Washington with experienced, proven leadership through thick and thin that can deliver results.
Thank you, Senator Schoesler, and thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this today. This, once again, was the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce's 2020 Candidate Forum. So as we begin the countdown to Election Day coming up on November 3rd, please remind your friends, your family, your neighbors to get out and vote, especially in the 9th Legislative District. We'll have this video and many others up on the Tri-City Regional Chamber's website. That's www.tricityregionalchamber.com. Again, thank you to the Chamber for hosting these, to KNDU, Senator Schoesler, and our sponsors, Cascade Natural Gas, Gisa Credit Union, JLH Group, and Hayden Homes, and especially to all of you for watching. This is Tracy Dial from KNDU News. Don't forget to vote.